audience. Okay.
Imagine walking down the street only to hear the sound of a gunshot and the cries of a woman and dear child. Then later seeing on the news a man who was being pulled over was reaching for his license and was fatally shot and murdered right in front of his family for supposedly reaching for a weapon. This is just one example of police brutality. Police brutality is a very widely spreading problem that no one does really anything about. Police brutality is something that most police officers get away with, happens to people of color, and is usually unprovoked. Most police officers suffer very little to no consequences at all when accused of these crimes. Many, according to EBC host, many incidents of police brutality go unreported or unprosecuted, so they may not even make it to trial. In recent years, cameras have been used as evidence, and the videos may be filmed by a witness or a squad car. These videos or even witnesses may be the only evidence used for the victim, but sadly, some witnesses may not testify, or the cameras will be forgotten to turn on. Now, let's turn to the victims of police brutality who are targeted by the color of their skin. Many police attacks are targeted towards people of color. From theatlantic.com, black men aged 15 through 45 are between 9 and 16 more times likely to be killed by police than other people. The total number of years of life lost due to the police is similar to that Americans lose their life to meningitis or maternal deaths. Young people and young people of color especially are disproportionately affected by this type of violence. Many of these attacks that change these people's lives forever is unprovoked. According to TheGuardian.com, in 2009, Oscar Grant was shot and murdered by the hands of a police officer. He was cuffed, unarmed, and lying on the ground when the officer shot and murdered him. So, I don't see any reason to shoot and kill a man when he's cuffed and lying on the ground. And then, in 2010, Walter Harvard, an Iraq veteran, was beaten nearly to death by an officer after Harvard was trying to go into a building that the officer was closing. Even though Harvard was severely beaten, the officer continued to beat and kick him like he was just nothing. These two attacks were clearly unprovoked and left the victims severely injured and dead. All of these points add up to devastating results of police brutality that change people's lives forever. In conclusion, when police officers get away with police brutality, people of color are beaten and murdered, and people are viciously attacked for no reason at all, it really makes you stop and think about how police brutality is a very serious issue that is going on in our world today. We, as a younger generation, can't just sit and ignore what is going around in front of us and what is right in front of our eyes. We need to take action and see the deeper meaning in incidences like these so our friends, neighbors, and family and more will be safe.